video game debt. Okay, that's video game debt. Yeah, where do we start on that? Other than welcoming you back to another video by myself, the Evesham Gamer. Um, I, I didn't need to spend a lot of time thinking about this particular topic because I've been in this situation for quite some time now, and I do blame a large part of it, obviously, on myself. So this is not a reflection on anybody else or anybody else's habits. This is strictly about me and my habits. Now, yeah, I get a lot of the reasons why I've got myself into debt over video games, and not just video games, and we'll get into that shortly, is because of other people. And it is because of things like YouTube. I never had a problem before when I wasn't watching gaming channels, etc., where I wanted to get something. It was nowhere near as bad as it has got for me. Now, I'm not going to go into the figures over it. There's absolutely no need. But I think before I get into that, I just need to make a couple of mentions. First thing being, I've got a new phone. I've upgraded from a what was it now, OnePlus 8 Pro to the Google Pixel 8 Pro. And then, would you believe it, the Google 9 Pixel Pro comes out about 2 weeks later. But I'm fine with what I've got. I don't need to go and get the 9. I don't need the latest and greatest. But the thing I would mention as well is there's a slightly different sound here. And I'm actually taking some recommendation from Big Kev. You know, Big Kev, everyone knows who Big Kev is now because he is big in terms of YouTube. He's, 35,000 subscribers now. That's Access Area 6. And I noticed he had some of these, which of these are the Toner lavalier microphones, wireless microphones. 20 quid, man. Fucking brilliant. You tell me what it sounds like. If it sounds any better. I'm not always going to use this phone to record. I'm going to use my GoPro and my Nokia N95 when I fancy it. And anything else which I've got, which just got recording capabilities and sounds even remotely good or looks remotely good. So, yeah, out to Big Kev for that. I just call him Big Kev. That's what my Big Kev, innit, you know? So, yeah, all good there on that front. So, video game debt. Yeah, for me, it's been going on for some time now. I'm not going to mention any figures about where I'm at with it, but I have come to a point now where I'm like, this has got to stop. This has got to stop because I'm spending far too much money on things that I just don't need and I'm not going to really ever use. And on that note, I'll give you a few examples of things, and it's only a few examples, nothing much. Stuff that I've picked up I have no need for. More of a case of I wanted. And it's generally a case of I want it, not a case of I need it. In fact, we don't even need video games, let's be honest. So, you know, some examples that have got me into a situation where I'm currently sitting at just short of 1,700 individual physical games ranging across multiple systems, from the Magnavox Odyssey or Philips G7000, I think it is, Atari 2600, right through to the Xbox Series X, and if you want to add that into the mix, the Steam Deck as well. You know, it's just ridiculous, and that doesn't even include peripherals and other little things. And it's got me into a situation now where I'm actually quite embarrassed about what I've got, mainly because you've got all these people with their fantastic game rooms, wall-to-wall games and peripherals and tellies and arcade machines, and you fucking name it, it's there. And whilst I think that they're fantastic, that's something that's just not something that I can do. The room you're looking at in here, I've never done a game room tour in it because it's very small. There's no need. Okay, you can generally see what's around me, and in other videos you can see what's over here, the GameCube stuff, and I move around the Sega Saturn stuff occasionally. But that's just minimal what I have, and everything else is in boxes. And I really don't like that because that's gone totally against what I wanted to do originally, which was to have a lot of stuff on display. and I just can't do it. And now I've turned myself into one of those people that buys things, has a quick go on it, and then it sits in a box, and therefore it's not doing anything. And to add to that, everything has got to a point now where it's become overwhelming because there's so much stuff and you just don't know how to begin to even sell it, because you don't want to sell it. And me personally, I don't want to sell it, but I don't want it sitting in that room either. And I don't have the time to be sitting there on eBay going over, taking photos of every single item and pricing them up. I've got a few things that I'm looking at selling off quite soon. For example, the Omnibot that I kind of showcased quite recently, the Tommy Omnibot. I've got someone that may be interested in that, depending when they see it. And if you're watching this, Ben, over at RetroSect, it's in fantastic condition, and you will see that. I will arrange to come and see you in the next few weeks. I've got some other bits as well, like a CRT TV and whatever. And I might even get rid of my Sony Trinitron because I never fucking use it. The only reason I like it is because I've got a video VHS on it. However, I've got a VHS player. And not only that, let's add to the list here. Okay, let's start off with some things that I bought that I just don't need. Okay, so this isn't video game related, but up here, you may not be able to see it. I don't know. I can't see because I've got the phone set a different way. I've got a Nokia Media Master 9850T, which was originally released by On Digital back in 1999. It doesn't work anymore. Well, it turns on, but that's about it. No need to buy for that. That was like 6 or 10 quid. But that was pure from nostalgia. I wanted one. Hogs of War on the PlayStation 1. Had no need to get this. It was only because my mates used to play it. That was a pointless purchase. Or a blind purchase, as I like to call it. Eternal Champions, Challenge from the Dark Side. Well, I got this recently at the Doncaster video game market, and I didn't even need to get it. I didn't want it. I just saw it. I was like, oh, I thought that was pretty good. I got stiffed as well a little bit because it doesn't have a manual in it from that Forbidden Worlds, I think it was, and it didn't say it on the packaging. So naughty Forbidden Worlds. I do hear great things about them, but that put a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But not as much as the price I paid for it, because it was not something that I had an intention of buying, even though I had a list. A Game Boy Advance SP box. Didn't need that either. That was over a ton. I didn't need to buy that at all. And I haven't really used it, although I bought it on the sole purpose of using it with the GameCube for this next purchase, which is Legend of Zelda, the Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube, the big box one. I was really pleased to get this, but I paid a lot of money for it. For me, it's a lot of money. I mean, you would never see me spending £500, £400 on a fucking game. I mean, I don't care if you buy one game a year. You don't spend that kind of money on a game. But that's me, okay? Each to their own. Each to their own. You know, it is what it is. And then, you know, I mentioned this one before. The Cyber Troopers Virtual On, was it Force Memorial box. Well, I didn't need that, but I've wanted it for so long, I just had to get it. And it didn't matter whether I was in the red or in the black. I just bought it anyway. Now, see, just these few items just add up, okay? I've found that I do have a bit of an obsession and compulsion to buy things just because they're there. And I think we can probably say in my case that some of that is a fear of missing out. I can say till I'm blue in the face that I'm not gonna buy something because just because this has happened or that's got delisted or because some big YouTubers mentioned it. It's happened to me numerous times, and I don't know. It's got embarrassing. I've said this a little while ago. It's got embarrassing, and I'm no longer making any big purchases until I've got myself back on a leash. So he says that, and he buys some other things. For example, but I had to get this anyway. Did I have to get it? Paul Hardcastle's 19 and Beyond album. As much as I love it, I could have just downloaded those on MP3 or just listened to it on Amazon. No need to physically own that. And that kind of leads to the next thing I bought. Okay, so this didn't technically cost me anything, but it was Bravo points from work that I cashed in for this. And it was going at a good price. I thought, well, why not? I don't know anyone else has got one of these. And that, for one of the big but not necessarily expensive purchases, is the Lord Zed voice changing helmet from the Power Rangers. I don't know what possessed me to buy this, but I love it. But did I need it? No, I didn't. So I clearly have no self-control when it comes to buying things. There you go. It's just turned itself on. Wonderful. Better turn that off in a minute, otherwise it'll start sounding robotic in here. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is, for me personally, I've gone just stupid on stuff. I mean, there's just no limit to what I've been purchasing. And whether there's a deep rooted issue there where I'm kind of trying to compete with other people, I don't know. But that is kind of the reason, and why I've stopped doing pickups videos. I don't. Everyone's doing pickup videos. Every person and their fucking dog, and in some cases birds, are doing it. And there's just so many fish in the pond, and I feel that I don't need to tell people all that, even though other people, you're doing this. Okay, well, some people do it because they want acknowledgement and recognition of what they do. I personally don't. I really do not care. I never have cared. But other people, they do it, well, like I kind of do, which is, it's kind of like a record of the things that I've got, so that when I die, it's still sitting there on YouTube and people can still see stuff. I'm technically living forever, or at least until the servers go down, my account is closed down, because I have no living relatives left at that point, but hopefully my debts and my acquisitions at some point will give someone else joy, and not necessarily from a financial perspective. It doesn't cause them any problems other than trying to sell it all off. But I'm honestly, if I could give any tips to anyone about getting themselves, if they're in a situation with video games, and I guess that kind of goes across the board with anything else. You might be a trainer's freak, buying loads of trainers and stuff like that, or you might be an antique bottle collector. But I think a lot of it really is having a bit of self-control. And this has clearly shown me that I don't have self-control, and I'm working on it. And it's an addiction, to be honest with you. It's not good. I'm not happy with the situation, but I will definitely, or I already am, kind of implementing things into place, like limiting myself to certain amounts of money. I even got to the point where I was going to say, ask my missus to take my bank card. But then, hey, everything's on my phone, on my computer. I just got to do a couple of clicks and bosh, I've ordered it. What? It's just crazy. So, yeah, so my next step is to downsize on stuff. How I'm going to do that, I do not know. Or just stop and buy the odd occasional game. I don't know where it's going to end up, but I just wanted just to get this out there to say, hey, look, this is me, right? I've got a problem. So basically, what I'm suggesting, on a lighter note, is, and I am joking because it's funny to say it, but we should have a Gamers Anonymous, where we all meet up and say, hi, like for example, hi, my name's Martin, and I'm a gamerholic, a game collector-holic. It's a problem. It's a problem for me, and I imagine there's a few people out there, if you watch this, that have the same problem. Buying too much is just causing you problems. But yet we still get that buzz from picking something up. Oh, man, you can't beat that buzz, can you? You just can't. It is like having a beer. And I'm not even going to go down that route with beer. Okay, so that's for another day, because I don't generally talk about my issues online, and I don't think I will, because that's my business. I'd rather put on a face than pour out my emotions to people on YouTube. I mean, some people find that much more personable, and I am personable. Here I am, the Evesham Gamer, Martin Beard. Hey, been to jail before, and fucking worked in multiple different organizations and different industries. I've done so much in my life, but compared to some people, I haven't. But it is what it is. So anyway, do you have a problem? Do you have a debt problem with video games? I don't know. Let me know. Tell me how you how you deal with that, because I would be very, very interested to know. So, on that note, I'm going off for now, and I'll goodness knows what's going to be next on the channel. I have no idea. It's always a surprise on here. So look after yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon. Ciao for now.